next couple speakers we have, they are amazing. What happened during the break? I just got a voice message from Pete Buttigieg. It was an obscene phone call in 8 different languages. So all right, I thought that was so much funnier when I wrote it, so forget it. Moving on. Climb Real Estate is a fantastic example of how an inclusive culture can play major dividends. Right from the beginning, founder Chris Lim wanted a company that focused on diversity, and the model worked. In just a short time, Chris grew his company to 250 plus agents in San Francisco, rose to the number 7 largest company in San Francisco, cracked the Real Trends 500, and became part of NRT. But most importantly, he's cute as a goddamn button. Please welcome to the stage, Chris Lim.
Good afternoon, Palm Springs. I'm Chris Lim, founder of Climb Real Estate. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share my story. I know you probably want to be by the pool, so I appreciate you taking some time to hear my story. So this is actually Climb Real Estate, the company I started, and every successful journey begins with a passion, a clear vision, and a desire to make a change. Climb started in San Francisco, and my home for also a new beginning. This is actually me, back when I had Luke Perry sideburns and a fake Superman tattoo. And to the outside world, I probably looked pretty happy. My father was a real estate developer, my mom was a real estate agent, and I had actually a successful career. I was starting a successful career in investment banking. But on the inside, I was actually very unhappy. And when I heard the stories earlier today from Coldwell Banker, it really resonated with me because I wasn't being my authentic self. And so by all appearances, while I may have looked really happy, on the inside I was actually very sad. And I was really unhappy with the trajectory of my life and where I was going. But this struggle ignited my desire to create a new life. And so I moved from New Jersey to California to San Francisco to start a new life and to start a new career. And that's actually when I started this company, Climb. I wanted to start a company that was unlike where I had worked, where I felt very alienated. And so I wanted it to be inclusive, I wanted it to be diverse, I wanted it to be collaborative, and I wanted it to be all the things that I hadn't had in my career prior. And actually, this was our first office. And kind of funny because it was my loft where I lived in South of Market. It was not glamorous, as you could tell. But it was home. And it actually became the start of the concept that we would then have in all of our future offices throughout the Bay Area. And that was really being open, collaborative, communicative, and I think that's really what happens in a loft space, is it really allows you to kind of think differently. And that's what this space did for us. And then we opened our second office. And the second office was also really different. It was repurposed, redifferent. This was actually in 2010, which was pretty groundbreaking at the time. And it was really about collaboration and community. This is our reception area. This is where we would collaborate. This is where we got inspired. And this is where our team meetings were held. And this was all in a pretty relatively small space. It was about 2,000 square feet. And actually, it also Climb innovates. This is actually our first mobile Airstream. And I created this mobile Airstream because I thought it was a great way for mobile agents to actually get out in the community. And so we created this mobile Airstream, which we would take around San Francisco. And since San Francisco is pretty hilly, it was sometimes not always very easy. But most importantly, I also wanted to make sure that we worked with local designers and local artists, because we feel like the community is so much of what we're a part of. And so we created our spaces, and this was actually created by a local designer, local landscaper, and all the art was local as well. So people ask me, how did you create Climb? And how is it so successful? And I started by really questioning everything. And that actually started with questioning myself. And once I questioned myself and find out what I wanted to be in the world and what I wanted to put out there, I then started to question everything else. And for me, the landscape of real estate brokerage was pretty staid, and I wanted it to be very, very different. And so I always ask myself, what is your North Star? What was my North Star? And so who are we? Who are our clients? How can we best serve our clients? These were all questions that I was asking as we started to create Climb. And then, what is our area of expertise? What are our client needs? What are our agent needs? What are our team needs? How do we continually be the best? And so for me, it was one simple thing: focus. So for those of you that know San Francisco, this is actually the Realtor map of San Francisco. And the part that's highlighted there is Soma, Mission Bay, and South Beach. And this is what it looked like when I started real estate. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, especially because you're local San Franciscan. So you know that it's amazing. And I started to do my research and understand what was going to happen in this area. And as I learned, they were going to be building residential towers, large residential towers. And this is the Infinity, which is on the Embarcadero in that geographic area. And it serves 653 homes. So 653 homes were going to be growing vertically in an area. And so I saw that as a huge opportunity. And this was the Transbay Terminal and Rincon Hill. And this was what was going to be planned. And this shows you the future growth. These are all the towers that are either have been constructed or under construction. And again, I knew that many of those, while some of them were going to be corporate offices, a lot of them were actually going to be residential housing because there was going to be a shortage of housing in San Francisco. And this is actually what it looks like today. And then I want to take you to the original photo that I showed you. And this is actually a present-day photo of that area that I'm focused on. And the newest addition is the Chase Center, which will be the new home of the Warriors. And so this is just a quick chart to show you what we predicted to happen ended up being true. So those agents that were focused on the north side of town, Pacific Heights, they weren't going to grow as quickly as Soma, South Beach, and District 9. And so as you can see, this represents 20% of all the transactions in the San Francisco market. And we were right there. This shows you the top line, the red, is District 9. That was also the area that we were focused on. And so I want to kind of share with you our timeline. It's been 9 years since I founded Climb, and our team has grown. I showed you our office. We were 100% paperless. We were in the cloud. This is actually me and our sign. In 2011, we were inspired by the food truck craze, and so we launched, this is the first of 2 Airstreams that we launched, and we ended up, 2010, ranked number 14th in sales in San Francisco after our first year. And then 2012, we ended up number 10 of the top 10 brokerages in San Francisco. But while we had a lot of successes, we also actually had some failures. And I also think in life, sometimes the failures serve you as well as the successes. And so to your right there, you'll actually see this idea of data visualization that we explored on the internet. And it was a total flop. Also, another flop was the drone program. So because we were focused on high-rises, we actually started to use drones to take photography, and we were shut down by the FAA. So that was not fun. But we did have other successes, and a lot of that was because we're based in San Francisco, we started to collaborate with tech companies. We did a very early deal with Matterport, Real Scout, DocuSign, all companies based in San Francisco, with the idea of really helping our agents improve their business. And then in 2015, we were number 7 in San Francisco, top 25 in the Bay Area. And then Hollywood came calling in 2015. And for those of you that are reality TV fans, we were featured on $1 Million Listing San Francisco. It was amazing exposure, like none you've ever seen. Actually, almost crashed our website based on the airing of the original series. But while it was really great exposure, the show was a disaster. And after 8 episodes, we were canned. But anyway, that was a really good experience for us. And then in 2016, the awards really started to come in. I think we started to really be recognized as a tech-forward, innovative boutique brokerage. And we were recognized by Inman, Resas, and all the different, the awards really kind of came in at that time. But the biggest award for us was that we actually crossed $1 billion in sales. We did 1.2 billion in sales with only 110 agents, and we were ranked top 250 in the US. We were the 252nd top brokerage in the US. And that was when we had the good fortune of being acquired by Realogy. We were acquired by NRT, which has really kind of been the best opportunity for us. Realogy is an amazing, largest real estate company in America. This is actually one of my favorite photos. This is actually the then CEO of Realogy, and he said that he kept the Climb Airstream on his desk in his office because it reminded him that Realogy and Climb needed to continue to innovate. So I thought that was pretty amazing. And so we had a lot of news, a lot of great opportunity with Realogy. And so we were able to actually grow more offices. And so we opened 4 more offices in the Bay Area. But actually one of the things that I'm most proud of was this photo right here. This was, I don't know if those of you that attended in 2017, but the keynote speaker was Clive Jones, also from San Francisco, who gave a heart-wrenching and amazing story about his journey. But the part for me where those actually were my 2 agents. To the left is Cedric, who I think John Payton talked about earlier. He came from Cameroon, where he was stoned and almost beaten to death for being gay. And he came to San Francisco, and he works in our office. And that's actually Leo Petroni, who was Laura Petroni when I met him. And anyway, they also spoke on stage and shared their stories. These were offices that we opened, but the thing that I'm most proud of last year was Christine Kim took over my role as president, and she was the first Asian female president in NRT's history. And I think that really shows a lot about Realogy as a company, allowing a female Asian to take over the reins. And so 2019, very big news for us. We were, along with Corcoran, they announced the national expansion of Climb. And actually, this is myself and my co-founder, Mark Choi. And so as we're building the value proposition to launch nationally, we realize that it's all about a connected generation. It's about creation, curation, connection, and community. And it goes really close with our tagline. It's more than a home, it's your life. And so lessons along the way. I have had a lot. The first is obviously focus. Focusing is so important. Focusing on a small geographic area, focusing on your clients, whatever it is, whatever market you are in, it's so important to focus and to hyper-focus, and that's how you'll find success. And for me, it's finding your people. It took a long time for me to find my people, and here they are in Burning Man. But for me, I think my struggle has been not finding my people. I was in New Jersey in a really conservative suburban town where felt like I could be myself. And by coming to San Francisco, I felt like I had found a city with no labels. At Realogy, I also feel like I'm supported and loved, and that these people at Realogy are helping me with my mission. And so I really love this quote by Kevin Kelly. And basically it says, you don't need to have 1 million fans. You just need to have a few thousand fans. And so I kind of want to leave you with this, because to me, it's the difference between good and great is found in your heart. Go out and make a difference. Continually strive to be the best version of yourself, and your fans will follow you for a lifetime. Thank you.
That's a man of vision, developing the south side of San Francisco. I grew up in San Francisco. Nothing good happened south of Market when I was a kid. That you did not go south of Market to be a good person.